huge difference. But guys, I'm here to tell you that no one protest is going to change the world, but each protest is a step towards building a community, towards building a movement, and towards building a group of people that is ready to tell Trump that he doesn't have the right to our city, that he cannot take our campus, and that he cannot take away our right to free speech. So here at Georgetown, I know that we love to analyze our issues. We love to talk about what we would do if we were in power, but we don't necessarily love to take risks. We don't like to put our names on the line, our careers, or our futures on the line. So thank you all for taking a risk with me by being here today. Because I know that you know as much as I do that it's not our choice anymore whether or not we put our futures on the line. Our futures are already on the line. My main issue, the reason why I got involved in organizing is climate, and our future's on the line because of climate change, climate disasters, but also because of so many other things. I'm here today speaking because I can't organize for a livable future if we no longer have the right to protest on campus, if we're living through democratic backsliding, if we're living through a time in which Trump can deploy federal officers to our city and our school doesn't guarantee us the right to continue to have free speech. So we're here to ask Georgetown to guarantee that they will protect us when we protest on this campus, when we raise our voices. They say they're proud of us for advocating for what's right. So I'm here asking, prove it. Guarantee that we'll continue to be out here. We'll continue to be able to protect each other, to keep us safe, and to fight for all of our causes. Thank you so much.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what democracy looks like.
This is what democracy looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Show me what community looks like.
This is what community looks like.
Our next speaker today is Washington's 7th District Representative Camilla Jayapal. Representative Jayapal is the first South Asian American woman elected to the U.S. House of Representatives and is the chair of the Integrated Task Force for the Congressional Caucus, and is a vice chair of the Congressional LGBT Equality Caucus, and is the co-chair of the Transgender Equality Task Force. She also serves as a ranking member of the Subcommittee on Immigration and Security and Program.
Hey everybody, thank you so much to Sunrise and to Free DC and to all of you for being here. I am an organizer first and foremost. I just happen to be doing it in Congress now after 20 years outside, and I'm a Hoya. When I was a senior at Georgetown right here in Copley, and I used to look out at the square and be a part of the protest here, and it makes me so happy to see you all here because the previous speaker is absolutely right. This is an unprecedented moment in our country where we have an authoritarian leader who is deploying federal troops to Washington, D.C., to cities across the country, militarizing our streets, kidnapping people on the streets, immigrants, people who look Latino and speak Spanish are now being given free rein to be kidnapped from Home Depot corners across the country. And the only bulwark that we have is the people. And so what you are doing here today is so important because at the end of the day, the checks and balances that were supposed to be built into our Constitution so that we could protect our constitutional rights are not working right now. Because when you have a majority party in Congress who refuses to actually hold a president, an authoritarian president, accountable, when you have a Supreme Court that is stacked with corrupt justices who take luxury RVs and trips from donors who come before the Supreme Court, then literally the only check and balance is you. So yes, you are taking a risk today by being here, by walking out with students across DC to say we are going to protect our rights. And what an incredible show of power, people's power it has been this last weekend to see thousands of people on the streets of DC, to see people fighting back against the narrative that we are powerless. We are not powerless. The people have the power. The power doesn't flow from the top down, it flows from the bottom up. And that means that when we withhold our power, when we withhold our willingness to go along with what the authoritarian leader is doing, that is when the people's power wins. They can't win without our support. So don't forget that every single movement, every single event, every single walkout, every single protest, every single act of non-cooperation is part of what it takes to build the people's movement. And you are here today because you believe in a different future than what we have right now. You believe in a future where billionaires don't control the wealth of our planet. You believe in a future where we have a planet to pass on to our children. You believe in a future where working people can earn a decent wage and send their kids to colleges like the one that you're going to today. You believe in a future where there is genuine equality and justice for everyone, no matter what race you are, no matter what gender you identify with, no matter who you are or where you come from. That is the country that we are fighting for today, and I am so proud that you are here doing it with us. Thank you all so much. And if you all want to be trained in how to fight back against an authoritarian leader, check out my Resistance Lab. It's resistancelab.us. 2-hour virtual training on the most effective tactics to increase the ability to take risks. Because that is what it takes in countries around the world. It only happens if you overthrow authoritarian leaders when the people fight back and when the people really put themselves on the line. So check it out. We are so happy to be here. Thank you, Sunrise. Thank you, Free DC, for the amazing work that you are doing. And thank you all for walking out and for showing that the people's power will always win. So say it with me, Free DC!
Free DC!
Free DC!
Free DC!
The students united
Will never be divided. The students united will never be divided.
Thank you all so much, and keep at it. We need you.
Hey, DU, can you hear it? Can you hear our mighty spirit? Hey, DU, can you hear it? Can you hear our mighty spirit? Hey, DU, can you hear it? Can you hear our mighty spirit?
Up next is Massachusetts Senator Markey. He is on the Committee on Health, Education, Labor, and Pensions, and Environment and Public Works. Markey is a pioneer for climate justice and clean energy in the Senate and was the Senate author of the Green New Deal and has been a champion of progressive causes supporting gun control, single-payer health care, and affordable housing.
Beautiful. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you all for coming out here. So, DC is under assault. When the Capitol was under assault on January 6th, Trump refused to send in troops to protect against this attempt for the usurpation of democracy, of the election of the President of the United States. He allowed for that assault to take place on the Capitol with no troops being sent in. But now, here in DC, the President is attempting to create an impression that the crime rate is going up rather than down, that there is, in fact, a crisis here in the District of Columbia. And what he is doing is attempting, not just here in DC, but in Chicago, in LA, in Boston, is to try to characterize communities that are majority minorities, that are majority black and brown, as being unsafe to live. And it's not a coincidence that he's picking all of these cities that are black and brown majority. It is to scare America. You cannot make America great again by making America hate again. That is what Trump is seeking to do. And what we have to do is to make sure that we stand up to him. And these governors who are sending their National Guard troops here to D.C. at a cost of $1 million a day, they should be protecting Medicaid and SNAP and educational opportunities for young people back in their own home states, rather than participating in this charade that Donald Trump is creating here in the District of Columbia. This is not about policing. This is about political theater, because Trump's political rating is going down because he knows that he is vulnerable. And he's just going back to his old standard play, which is racism, which is trying to play to the worst fears that he can instill in people across our country. That is what is at stake right now. And so we have to stand up. 250 years ago, the American Revolution began in Lexington and Concord. They stood up against King George, those Minutemen and women. They were knocked down, but they were not knocked out. They got up, they fought, and they won. And the abolitionist movement, we know that Georgetown is still reckoning with its own history with slavery. Those abolitionists, they were knocked down, they were not knocked out. They got up, they fought, they won. The suffragette movement, they were knocked down, they were not knocked out. They got up, they fought, they won. The same-sex marriage movement, they were knocked down, but they were not knocked out. They got up, they fought, and they won. And the civil rights movement, Martin Luther King Jr., they were knocked down, but they were not knocked out. They got up, they fought, and they won. And that's where we are today. It's led by the young leaders in our nation, standing up and fighting. And yes, people are being knocked down, but they are not knocked out. They're going to get up, they're going to fight, and we're going to win. We're going to beat them. We do not need a king in our country. We do not need a dictator. That is what this is all about. Thank you, Georgetown, for standing and fighting. We will win. And so thank you. We must free D.C. Free D.C. Free D.C. Free D.C. Free D.C. And free our country of the dictatorship of Donald Trump. Thank you all so much.
Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Thank you, Senator Markey.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Senator Markey. So I'm Carly. I'm a junior at Georgetown Daisy. And so up next we have a song to share with you. It's a bit of history. Enslaved people passed on songs to worship, to teach, and these songs became part of the anti-slavery movement and abolitionism. Music sustained them. Music sustained protests through the Revolutionary War when colonists used songs to criticize the tyrannical actions of the British. Music was a critical part of the women's suffrage movement, the civil rights movement, the anti-apartheid movement, the labor movement, continued by labor choruses around the country, the LGBTQ rights movement, continued by LGBTQ choruses around the country, and anti-war movements. And so today, in our fight against authoritarianism, we bring you a song
To make this possible for his MAGA base to feel as though he is fulfilling his promise to them. But you cannot make America great again. That's what's going on. That's what Trump is trying to perpetrate. And these young people today are standing up and saying, no, they will not accept that as a part of the culture of our country.
Well, we just have to continue to stand up and to fight and to put the pressure on the Republicans in the House and Senate, because what's happening here is wrong, and to the extent to which Republican governors are supporting and becoming a part of this entire crisis, that we make sure that they understand as well that they are going to put their own seats in jeopardy. I apologize, Steve. I got to run. So Republicans are standing in lockstep with Donald Trump. That's the problem. They do whatever he wants, and even if they disagree with him, they sit in silence. And that's why people at the grassroots, students, activists have to stand up, raise their voices, and let them know that there's going to be a huge political price that they will have to pay. Sorry. So thank you. You're good. Yeah, hi.
Just want to get your thoughts on, it's been a while since you it's good to see you in spirit.
Yeah, it is.
Tell us about what you're doing here with the generation.
Well, in the same way that on campuses there was an uprising for the same-sex marriage movement, for the civil rights movement, against the war in Vietnam, young people today are rising up against the dictatorial impulses of Donald Trump in sending in National Guard troops to occupy cities across our country that are majority minority cities. And so that's what this is all about. It's recognizing the fundamentally racist attitude that Donald Trump is bringing to his policing, in quotes, of our nation's cities. Okay, thank you. Appreciate it.
Co-founder and board president of the Task Force for Democracy, a national nonprofit organization. Should be the one that's scared. Since 2021, Sweden and the Task Force have politics and demand the just and inclusive democracy we all deserve. Hayden is also the Free DC student organizer.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Good morning. Today, students across DC college campuses are walking out to make 3 demands. And I want you to remember these demands, because when you go back to your friends and family, when you see them, when you speak with them, they should know why you walked out here on Red Square today. We should be able to clearly answer what our movement stands for, what Free DC as a campaign stands for. And first, to Georgetown administrators, we demand you do not comply with the Trump regime's attacks on our campuses. We demand you not comply with the Trump regime's attacks on marginalized communities, on critical program funding. You are not Columbia University. You are in the District of Columbia. So stand up for your community. Do not cooperate with ICE's illegal attacks on our campuses and our communities. So Georgetown, we demand non-cooperation. What do we demand?
Non-cooperation!
What do we demand?
Non-cooperation!
What do we demand?
Non-cooperation!
To Mayor Bowser. To Mayor Bowser, 1 week ago, you signed an executive order extending Trump's military occupation of DC until December. You have collaborated and you are complicit with Trump's terrorizing of Black, brown, marginalized, immigrant, and low-income communities in DC. Recaller. So, to Mayor Bowser, we demand you cease your collaboration with the Trump administration and his military occupation of DC. We demand
non-cooperation. What do we demand?
Non-cooperation!
What do we demand?
Non-cooperation!
What do we demand?
Non-cooperation!
Third, we make this demand of Congress. We demand tomorrow you vote to end DC's military occupation. We demand you vote on HR 51 to make DC a state. We demand that you defend home rule. What do we demand? That you defend home rule. What do we demand? That you defend home rule. You know, one of the things that we've learned as college students is that we exist in the context of so many student movements, from the Student Nonviolent Coordinating Committee to students in Bolivia, in Chile, in Serbia, who have risen up against autocrats, against despots and dictators, and demanded more just and inclusive democracy, demanded democracy that's determined by dignity and diversity, not despotism and despair. And that's what we're here to demand today. That democracy, that dignity can extend to DC, can extend to our college campuses. That we as students can have autonomy in our district and in the decision making of our education. So, when you all go back to your families today, to your friends, when you tell them why you walked out, I want you to remember that today we are here to demand non-cooperation. Because when the textbooks of tomorrow look back on the institutions and their actions today, we need them to remember what light they'll cast them in. And so, even if those institutions fail us, we can always turn and trust each other and feel comforted in the knowledge that who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe!
Thank you all so much. It's been a pleasure being out here today.
When our rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When our rights are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When workers are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back!
When workers are under attack, what do we do?
Stand up, fight back! From DC to Palestine, DC to Palestine. Occupation is a crime. Occupation is a crime. DC to Palestine. From DC to Palestine. Occupation is a crime. Occupation is a crime. Georgetown, Georgetown, we know you. Georgetown, Georgetown, we know you. You endanger workers too. You endanger workers too. Georgetown, Georgetown, we know you. Georgetown, Georgetown, we know you. You endanger workers too. You endanger workers too. Thank you, everyone.
I'm here today on behalf of the Georgetown Coalition for Workers' Rights, a student organization committed to ending the exploitation of labor at Georgetown and beyond. It is a privilege to be speaking before a group of people who recognize that Donald Trump's occupation of DC is a flailing attempt of a dying empire to intensify the surveillance of its people, to criminalize state-induced poverty, and to castrate the power of the working class. Many are calling this an unprecedented descent into fascism, although it is a new escalation, colonize and oppress people of the world, from the American internal colony to the global south, could tell us that what we are seeing is not the exception, but the rule of American imperialism. I want to focus instead on a phenomenon that the Martiniquais poet and politician Aimé Césaire named in 1950 as the imperial boomerang. In his revolutionary essay, Discourse on Colonialism, Césaire writes the following words: "And then, one fine day, the bourgeoisie is awakened by a terrific boomerang effect. The Gestapos are busy, the prisons fill up, the torturous
continent. They say, how strange, but never mind, it's Nazism, it will pass. And they wait, and they hope, and they hide the truth from themselves, that it is barbarism, the supreme barbarism, the crowning barbarism that sums up all the daily barbarisms, that it is Nazism, yes, but that before they were its victims, they were its accomplices, that they tolerated that Nazism before it was inflicted on them, that they absolved it, shut their eyes to it, legitimized it, because until then, it had been applied only to non-European peoples. We stand in DC, in the capital of what our government declares to be the most free, the most moral, the most democratic nation in the world. Yet we lack political representation, and public spaces have become playgrounds for the ROTC, which was right over there. Shame! And our people are being terrorized and brutalized by almost 30 different police agencies that govern DC in what can only be described as barbarism. However, shame, as Césaire writes, before we were the victims of fascism, we in the West were its accomplices. The Metropolitan Police Department has strong ties with the State of Israel and has received training from the Israeli occupation forces, including a counterterrorism security training program, which an MPD officer called a preventative measure that MPD officers and DC residents benefit from. MPD uses the training and surveillance technology they receive from Israelis to target Black and brown community members. And ICE uses the very same tactics to arrest delivery drivers and service workers in DC. The fact that there have been 140 Black people killed by DC police since 2013 using the training mechanisms of the IOF is the imperial boomerang in action. When we call for freedom from the occupation from DC to Palestine, we must recognize that our liberation is meaningless without the liberation of the Palestinian people. As always, God must be our compass, and a world in which armed military troops stalk the streets is a mere fraction of what Palestinians living under Israeli occupation experience every minute of every hour. If we organize for freedom in DC, we must understand that the federal occupation of DC is our being awakened by the terrific boomerang effect that Césaire first mentioned, which can be traced to the American-funded genocide of Gaza, to the first Raqqa in 1948, and to the Balfour Declaration made by the British government in 1917. We understand the federal takeover as a part of a larger systemic flaw, one bigger than any single politician. While much of the conversation around the federal occupation of DC has centered on restoring the power of the local government, the administration of our mayor, Muriel Bowser, laid the groundwork for the Trump administration. Last year, Democrats in City Hall passed the DC Secure Omnibus Crime Bill, which used the exact same justification of law and order to legalize our constant video surveillance under the pretense of eliminating crime. The local government, far before the federal occupation, expanded pretrial detention and cleared homeless encampments using inhumane measures. We cannot solely call for an end to federal occupation, but also for the end of the careers of politicians like Bowser, who profess to share priorities with the Trump administration and who have sold their souls and their civic obligation to their community for profit. If we refuse to accept the federal takeover of our streets, then we must also recognize that the liberal status quo in our city started the work of targeting Black and brown communities that Trump is now finishing. ICE rides alongside our local police, leading to a 10-fold increase in the typical number of ICE arrests in the first 2 weeks of the federal occupation. The immigrants who are the moral and economic backbone of this city
only from the Trump administration's crackdown on immigrant populations. We know that this university has been infringing on the rights of its workers for decades. Shame! Nowhere is that more clear than in a recent decision announced by the university to cut the Georgetown University Transportation Shuttle, or GUTS buses. As a part of a string of decisions to bring in subcontractors to save money, the Georgetown administration, led by Chief Operating Officer David Green, is trying to eliminate all GUTS positions, forcing workers who have been driving for GUTS for decades to find alternate positions and accept pay cuts and precarious healthcare services because Georgetown claims it cannot afford to keep the fleet. Shame! In solidarity with the GUTS drivers, we have launched a petition demanding that the university refuse to subcontract the bus service, and there are flyers circulating with the CR code so that you too can raise the cry for justice for GUTS workers and sign the petition to protect GUTS. In the words of one GUTS bus driver, there's a certain kind of reputation that has more to do with morality, civic-mindedness. You're going to do this to us. You think you should still deserve to be called a civic-minded university that has Jesuit tradition? No. What happened to cura personalis? Where is that now? Georgetown has lost the right to be called a Jesuit institution, just as the United States has lost the right to be called a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. In light of all of this, we have three concrete demands if we wish to create a world, a city, and a university free from the barbarism that Cynthia described. We demand that Georgetown University declares a sanctuary campus and prohibits ICE and all other federal agents from entering any of its buildings. On civil liberties and erases the changes made this summer to the student code of conduct. The GUTS bus fleet and stop prioritizing profit over its workers. Thank you. Workers have all the power. Admin, you're all cowards. The workers have all the power. I don't know what I've been told. The people here are mighty bold. There's one thing that's clear to me. The people here have unity. Lies and threats will not divide. The people standing side by side. I don't know what I've been told. The people here are mighty bold.
There's one thing that's clear to me.
There's one thing that's clear to me.
The people here have unity.
The people here have unity.
Lies and threats will not divide.
Lies and threats will not divide. The people standing side by side.
interlinked politically, economically, and militarily through the shared use of surveillance technologies to target marginalized populations. The arms shipments paid for by our so-called representatives and the deadly information exchange between the IOF, ICE, and local police departments like NPD that are patrolling our streets right now. These police forces train together to brutalize us and occupy us and keep the masses at bay because they fear our collective power. However, we are not only being repressed at the district level, but at the university level as well. At the so-called congressional hearing on anti-Semitism, our disgraceful interim president, Robert Groves, capitulated to Donald Trump's fascist demands and the white supremacist and Zionist ideology. He openly bragged about his immediate rejection of the historic landslide divestment referendum win in the spring, doubling down on this university's complicity in the ongoing genocide of the Palestinians in Gaza that has killed over hundreds of thousands of people to this day. But President Groves didn't just stop there. He's even trying to curtail our ability to protest this same genocide by implementing a regressive mask ban that will undoubtedly be used to target students of color and try to intimidate us into silence. But intimidated, we are not. What these cowards do not understand is that repression breeds resistance. And that is why we walked out today. We demand that Georgetown University end its capitulation to the fascist Trump regime by denying ICE, NPD, and all federal officers access to our campus. We demand that Georgetown University roll back its repressive policy changes, disclose all investments, and all academic partnerships with the Zionist entity, and divest from companies complicit in genocide. Let's continue to organize strategically to advance these demands and understand that the DC struggle and the Palestinian struggle are intimately linked. And we will not be free until we are all free. Get out there, join an organization, join SJP, and don't just stick to the debate clubs. Get out there and make change. Now I'm going to tell you for a minute about the District of Columbia. D.C., after the Civil War, won voting rights for all free men, including the newly freed enslaved people. When Congress and the federal government noticed that those people were winning political power, they took away D.C.'s ability to govern itself. That was wrong then, and for 100 years, D.C. was governed by a federally appointed board of governors. We could not set our own laws. We could not set our own budgets. We could not decide our own schools. We had no power. It was only in the 1960s, during the Civil Rights Movement, that former Mayor Marion Barry won home rule for the District of Columbia in what was the original Free D.C. campaign. Our movement now is named in honor of that campaign because we know that our struggle is connected to the struggle of the original residents of the district who had their rights and power taken away, to our ancestors who won home rule for D.C. 50 years ago, and to the threat that we face now. The good news is, people in D.C. are rising up. Over the last 3 weeks, we've seen our community members go on walking patrols at night to warn one another about ICE. We've seen neighbors blockade checkpoints to direct traffic away and keep people safe. We've seen our neighbors heckle these agents and make it clear that they're not welcome. And on Saturday, we saw tens of thousands of people in the streets who are united in making it clear that D.C. does not want this occupation. And D.C. does not want this occupation no matter what our mayor says. What we're all witnessing now is a time when we have an important choice to make. Just like you all walked out today, this morning, we are all going to face a choice of whether to continue to tolerate this administration's agenda or if we are going to begin to not cooperate with it. That is what DCC is building, and that is what we are all united in fighting for, including you all who walked out today. I also want to say that in addition to the demands that I've heard you all make to the administration of the university, DC communities need our universities to be good partners in this moment. When these colleges and universities showcase the District of Columbia in their student brochures and advertise the incredible city that these universities are located in, they cannot continue to profit off the communities of the District of Columbia without the solidarity and being in solidarity with the community. The university is making millions of dollars a year, and we appreciate that, and we appreciate our universities and the services that they provide for the people here. If they are not in solidarity with DC communities right now, DC communities are not going to be in solidarity with them. Express gratitude to all of the organizers who are making this event happen today. Georgetown is only one of 4 universities that are hosting walkouts. Howard is happening in 5 minutes. Howard students are walking out. These students will walk out after lunch, and so will Americans. So I want you to say, up with liberation. Up with liberation. Down, down with occupation. Down, down with occupation. Free DC.
This is what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like.
Trump administration's authoritarian, unlawful, and entirely unnecessary takeover of the city that we have chosen as our home. My name is Izzy, and I'm speaking to you today not only as a student, but as a leader of Voice for Immigrant Rights. And I want to use my time today to remind us that the takeover, militarization, and occupation of DC is indeed an immigrant rights issue. The Metropolitan Police Department, which was previously barred from collaborating with ICE under the DC Sanctuary Values Law, is now actively collaborating with ICE, fueling mass deportations, insecurity, and fear in our communities. Since the federal takeover of DC, more than 500 detentions and deportations have taken place. More than 2,000 arrests have been made. According to a nonprofit worker who is seeing the effects of this occupation up close, people who are detained in DC are being transported to an overcrowded processing center in Chantilly, where they are subject to inhumane conditions. They are denied food, denied clean drinking water, denied showers, medical care, and access to legal counsel. People with final removal orders are being expeditiously sent to detention in Louisiana and then deported. It is all happening in a matter of days, and our partner organization who does detained adult work says they have never seen people deported at this speed. Many resistance narratives about the occupation of DC are highlighting the frivolousness of the National Guard's deployment. We see images of troops cleaning up trash and roaming around aimlessly. While this part of the narrative is important, we must center the attacks on our immigrant communities. This federalization is being used as a mechanism to terrorize DC immigrant communities, making our city more unsafe, more unstable, and more fashioned in the image of a white supremacist fascist government. This is not the DC I have come to know as home. This is not the DC that I have come to know as beautiful. The strength and vibrancy of the city lies in its diversity and its interconnectedness. I would like to remind us all that although the cruelty and mass deportations we are observing are exceptional, the immigration system in this country has been built on an exploitative, exclusionary, and inhumane system. Throughout the history of the United States, immigrants have been demonized and labeled as an internal enemy in order for the state to consolidate.
Hey, what's up, girl? Wow. I know. You know him?
Yeah. Good morning. Hi, let me introduce myself. Lydia Sherman's VP of Communications.
Nice to meet you.
And you're with what outlet?
I'm Freeman. So today I was supposed to be watching the Post, but they got Marvin coming out here today. So I figured since I was on my way, I would just chill, hang out for a little bit.
So we are going to have a period of time where you guys can take some pictures and cover, and then we're going to ask you if you're going to stick around and move over to our place. It's we are reminding folks this is a private campus and we're trying to minimize disruption, but definitely don't want to interfere with your ability to cover news of the day.
Now, do you know if there's like any other planned actions to like, I guess, coordinate with the other schools that are doing things? Okay.
No.
And do you guys think that you're going to have like National Guard or ICE agents or any other federal law? How you been?
Good, how about you?
I can't complain. How's Georgetown?
I studied there.
Okay.
I'm Dan, Rosetta with the Post. We communicate.
You got a lot of black kids in there?
There you go.
Yeah.
A lot of change.
Wait, you work for Reuters now?
Yeah.
Shit. Damn, Georgetown.
Yes.
I need somebody to do something with my sports. I know your hair's long, but I could make that shit work. Okay, period. Yeah, literally. Make some shake. Ooh, we're on camera. Yeah.
Part-time American Studies, the 3DC, the Sunrise, organized by ourselves as well. And I was thinking about what to say here. And I wanted to start with what's the difference between us and American and GW in Georgetown. It's that democracy died on our campus. The difference between us and those schools is that Kamala Harris lost on our campus. We were here, standing right over there, when she resigned from the election. It impacts us much more deeply than any of the other schools. I remember being there. I remember seeing that. I remember the loss of the hope in our student body. I remember people crying in towers and screaming. I remember all of that happening. And I think that really impacted us a lot at the campus. And we didn't even know then what we know now. Shaw has always been over-policed, gentrified. People have always been out here on the streets being impacted by the policies of DC, policies of the president. And now, more so than ever, we are in danger. There was a federal checkpoint in DC, in Shaw, on UN 14th Street, set up by the National Guard. Every day, I'm hearing stories of students being impacted by the police. Just this weekend, a Howard student was arrested, and we don't even know about that. And this has been a problem way before the federalization of DC. I knew about 2 students who were shot during homecoming last year, alumni. I know about a student who was arrested trying to take the bus last year just for not paying his fare. And I know none of y'all pay your fare. And that would not happen if he was not a Howard student. If they didn't think they could make an example out of him. And I heard a similar story happen just this last week of another student arrested for not paying their fare on the bus. This issue has been impacting all of us, I know. I heard of a Howard party that was raided by police just last week. Students were brutalized. And none of us even know what's happening. I haven't heard the university say much about any of these issues. And today we're starting to try and fix that. Today we're starting to try and take a stand. Us as students have heard stories about the administration expelling students. I know a story from last year about them going to a student's dorm and harassing them. And because of that, we might be afraid to do stuff like this, to walk out. And we wanted this to be less of a walkout and more of a town hall, more of a teaching, more of a way for people to come here and tell y'all about what they know about the situation. People from student orgs, you have a professor, you have someone from 3DC. And I'm going to start by introducing our 3DC person. Their name is Frankie. And they're going to come up here and talk to y'all a little bit about this situation. So can we have a round of applause, Frankie? Please come up here. We have about 5 to 6 speakers lined up for y'all over the course of the next hour. Thank you so much, everyone, for showing out. You can come sit on these blankets if you want. You can come chill and listen. But yeah, thank you so much, Frankie.
All right.
right, y'all. Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
First and foremost, I want to say thank you for your courage. Thank you for being out today. For all of those who came out of class to stand on the lawn in solidarity with your classmates, with the residents of DC, because what is happening right now is not normal. I want y'all to know what is happening in our city is not normal. DC right now is occupied. We have federal forces, the ATF, the FBI, the DEA swarming our streets. And it's not okay. It is not okay. And so we at 3DC, we at Harriet's Wildest Dreams, we are fighting against authoritarian rule, and we need the young folks with us. We need college students with us, because the only way we are going to get free is if we do it together. The only way we can see freedom is if we care about the person to the left and the right of us. So when I ask you, I want you to dig down deep. Who keeps you safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
By a show of hands, raise your hand if you've seen federal forces in our city. Raise your hand. Raise your hand. Overwhelming hands. Raise your hand if you've been stopped by police in DC. Okay, a little better, a little better. But the point that I'm making is that we cannot normalize this. We cannot stand idly by. Raise your hand if you know what to do when you're stopped by police. What should you say? Can someone shout it out? Am I free to go? Am I free to go? Repeat after me. Am I free to go?
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 And you don't consent to a search. So if I leave y'all with anything here today, it's that you have to make sure you know your rights. Be good upstanders. The first thing you should always ask is, am I free to go? If they say you're free to go, walk away. You don't have to say anything else. Do not consent to a search. Do not talk to police, because cops lie. Cops lie. And I'm going to turn it back over to our moderator. I will come back up periodically to give y'all some tips and tricks. But again, thank y'all for being out here today. It is up to all of us. Woo. Thank you, Frankie. Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keep us safe?
We keep us safe.
Thank you so much. Next up, we have a speaker from the Howard University Students for Justice in Palestine who's going to speak to you a bit as well. Once again, if you want to speak, if you have anything you want to say, a story you want to share to the crowd, anything you think needs to be imparted to the university students here today, we're going to be standing over here. You can come speak to me and tell me a bit about what you want to say. We want this to be an open forum for students as well. We don't want to just be us here giving you knowledge. Everybody here has knowledge to give. Everybody here has a story to tell. So please come over and speak to us as well. Thank you all so much for coming again. And I'm going to introduce Andres.
Can everyone hear me?
A little louder.
Hello? Can you hear me now?
Yeah. A little louder. Speak into it. Speak into it.
Alright, this feels very official. Never used one of these things before, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, I'm going to start up with a little chant. For some here, it may not seem relevant to the situation, but to those who know, an occupation here is the same thing that we're seeing happening in the occupation of Palestine. So, free, free!
Palestine.
Free, free!
Palestine.
Free, free!
Palestine.
Alright, good. I like the energy here. So I just want to thank everyone here for coming and taking time out of your day to make your voices heard. And it just fills me with so much joy and solidarity seeing the amount of people that are here right now at our university. Currently, we are standing in the face of so much adversity throughout our city, throughout our country. Over the last 8 months, we have seen families ripped apart by ICE agents, mass, We have seen immigrants brutalized. We have seen our fellow students punished for exercising their First Amendment rights. And now what seems to be another escalation in the Trump administration's continuing fascist agenda, we are now seeing National Guard troops stationed throughout our city. We are seeing federal and local police stationed throughout our city. And now Trump is trying to go after other cities besides DC, including Chicago and New York. They say this is for stopping crime, but we know that's not true. They say it is for the good of our city, but we know that's not true. They say it is for our safety, but we know that's not true. Increased policing has never been the solution to crime. Our city is fine without fascists running through it, and these pigs don't keep us safe. We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. It may seem like we are fighting an uphill battle, but we cannot let that discourage us. Evil has taken many forms throughout history, whether it be fascism, colonialism, imperialism, racism, sexism. But throughout its lifetime, evil plays many cards to stay alive. But the final card evil will always play is to make you and me think that nothing can be done to stop it. If that happens, if we believe that we can't stop it, then evil wins. It doesn't matter even if it's on its last legs. If none of us think we can stop it, it will win. That is why even if you may feel tired, even if you don't know where this path will take us, even if it is out of spite, it is up to us to keep this momentum going and to keep hope alive so that evil can't win. In our cynical world, we are taught that hope is a weakness, but that is not true. Hope is powerful. Hope is liberation. Hope is revolutionary. And I know that hope is alive because each and every one of you are here. You are taking time out of your day to make your school hear your voice. Howard University must not comply with the Trump administration and their fascist agenda. Howard University must not even be silent, because silence in the face of adversity is complicity. We are asking the most basic demands that a school should do for its students and for its staff. We are asking for a sanctuary campus. We are asking for ICE off our campus. We are asking for a refusal to cower and fear this administration. We are asking for a refusal to comply with federal and fascist agents. We are asking for protection for speech and for funding for the students and staff of this school. We are demanding that our school, the place where our ancestors fought with blood so that we have a place to learn in peace, performs its most basic duty and protects its students and staff. I want to end on this note. Nihilism is easy, but hope is harder. But I'm choosing to have hope that things will change, so as long as we keep fighting. Even if it is for a change that I won't see in my lifetime. Even if this is for something that won't materialize in our present. Even if it is fighting for a sunrise that I know I will never see. I still have hope. Hope that maybe the next generation, or the next, or the next, will see that change. That hope is enough for me. For as long as the spark of hope is alive, you can use it to ignite the flames that will allow you to see even in the darkest of times. Keep hope alive. Thank you.
Thank you once again to the speaker who just spoke. When I say free, you say DC. Free! DC! Free! DC! When I say free Howard, you say free Howard. Free! Howard! Free! Howard! Thank you all so much. We know that this issue extends beyond us. Did you all know that 3 students lost their visas last semester? What has the university said about that? Do we know who those students are? No. This issue is going to continue. Who knows how many more students are going to lose their visas this semester? Who knows how the international students are being impacted? We need to speak to them. We need to speak for them. I remember someone told me they were talking to an international student who said they were afraid to even speak about their experience. That is the culture we're living in. That is the campus that we are living in. Immigrants are being taken off the streets. People who are here legally are being taken off the streets. I know people who have seen this stuff happen right in Shaw University, Shaw neighborhood. And I'm going to have a speaker who want to speak about their experience living in Florida, seeing alligator Alcatraz. So everyone give a round of applause for our next speaker.
Like she said, I'm from Florida, and the atrocities that are taking place in my state are inexcusable. People are being locked in cages like animals. And if people are paying attention to the news, it is now legal for you to be stopped based off of the language you speak and the color of your skin. This is abhorrent behavior of a government that is supposed to protect us. But we all know that was never the case. In historical context, this poem by Langston Hughes was used to describe an America that has fallen short of all that it's supposed to be. And I believe it is still relevant today. Let America be America again. Let America be America again. Let it be the dream it used to be. Let it be the pioneer on the plane, seeking a home where he himself is free. America never was America to me. Let America be the dreamer's dream. Let it be the great, strong land of love, where never kings denied or pirates scheme, that any man be crushed by one love. It was never America to me. Oh, let my land be a land where liberty is crowned with no false patriotic grief, but opportunity is real and life is free. Equality is in the air we breathe. There's never been equality for me, nor freedom in this homeland of the free. Say, who are you that mumbles in the dark? And who are you that draws your veil across the stars? I am the poor white, fooled and pushed apart. I am the Negro bearing slavery's scars. I am the red man driven from the land. I am the immigrant clutching the hope I seek and finding only the same old stupid plan of dog eat dog, of mighty crush the weak. I am the young man full of strength and hope, tangled in that ancient endless chain of profit, power, gain, of grab the land, of grab the gold, of grab the ways of satisfying need, of work the men, of take the pay, of owning everything for one's own greed. I am the farmer, bondsman to the soil. I am the worker's soul to the machine. I am the Negro servant to you all. I am the people, humble, hungry, mean. Hungry yet today, despite the dream, beaten yet today, oh pioneers. I am the man who never got ahead, the poorest worker bartered through the years. Yet I'm the one who dreamt our basic dream in the old world while still a serf of kings, who dreamt a dream so strong, so brave, so true, that even yet its mighty daring sings in every brick and stone, in every furrow turn, that made America the land it has become. Oh, I'm the man who sailed those early seas in search of what I meant to be my home. For I'm the one who left dark Ireland's shore and Poland's plain and England's grassy lea, and torn from black Africa's strand, I came to build a homeland of the free. The free? Who said the free? Not me. Surely not me. The millions on relief today, the millions shot down when we strike, the millions who have nothing for our pay, for all the dreams we've dreamed, and all the songs we've sung, and all the hopes we've held, and all the flags we've hung. The millions who have nothing for our pay, except the dream that's almost dead today. We are living in a world where we are not safe, where who you are makes you a target. You have a target on your back, and there's a gun trained at your head everywhere you go. And as someone just said, occupation here is occupation everywhere, in Congo, in Palestine. We are targeting indigenous Americans. This is their land. We are targeting black African Americans. We didn't choose to be here. We are targeting immigrants who are building this nation in the first place. If you want to deport someone, deport Melania Trump. How does she have an Einstein visa when she is farthest from a genius? Why are we in fear for being who we are on America, the land of the free? Thank you.
speaker just spoke. By the way, that was someone who just came up to me and asked to speak. That was a student here today who was brave enough to use their voice to try and make even a little bit of a change here in the minds of everyone here today. Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Who keeps us safe?
We keep us safe.
Free, free, DC!
Free, free, DC!
Free, free, Howard!
Free, free, Howard!
Next speaker is a representative from Kujima, which is a revolutionary activism organization. They're coming up here to speak to you all as well. And also, after the speaker, we are going to come up here and give you a little bit more about why are we here today, how are we going to continue after this walkout, because it doesn't just stop here. Did it start here?
No.
Did we start this?
No.
But it's not going to stop here. So thank you all so much. I'm going to hand it off to the next speaker.
Hello, y'all. Can y'all hear me? All right, now y'all good?
Yeah.
Okay, welcome. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Just press the button.
Okay. You can't be right. Just let it hang free. Excuse me.
Just let it hang.
Okay. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we good. Thank you. All right, y'all. Welcome. Hello. So, given you are here, I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page about being against the federalization of DC. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm pretty sure we're all on the same page about being against Howard capitulating to ICE.
Yeah.
Correct? We're all against letting MPD on campus or calling MPD on the students themselves. We're all against Howard refusing to let their students freely express their disappointment with the institution, yada yada. So I don't think I need to draw those lines today. I don't think I need to draw the lines of how this is all connected to Howard's military contracts that see Howard research being used to develop tech to kill Palestinians, and Howard's general connections to the white supremacist institution and all that by forming the next generation of black capitalists. We all go here. We all know this. So I don't think I have to talk to you about that today. Instead, I'm going to talk to you about my Howard experience and what I think about Howard culture. Trust me, it's relevant. Between my freshman and sophomore years, I've been harassed by Howard police 6 times and MPD once. That's 7 times in 2 years. One of which was the very first day I spent as a freshman on campus. Another one of these times, I was held against the wall by my neck in my own dorm building. Multiple times these police have put their hands on me, and you know what I did about it? Absolutely nothing. Because what would happen if I did say something? The revolutionary communities that address everything on campus get active. Howard slanders the movement, maybe says it was started by outsiders, whatever that means. But no one sees justice and no one is held accountable. Campus culture was not one where the student body at large would support me. So I regularly still see students today with Starbucks.
Right.
Campus culture here is one that lets the administration get away with whatever as long as our perfect little elitist experience isn't ruined. So I say, what happens when ICE comes and grabs a student? Or when any of these over a dozen policing institutions randomly arrest someone? Or when the next student is targeted for speaking out? Will the campus culture be one of complete outrage in support for the folks targeted? Or will we continue to get our Starbucks? When folks see someone on campus being harassed by cops, will we be unified enough in our politics to step in? I think it's time we stop asking these questions and start becoming the answer.
Yeah.
We want Howard to be a sanctuary campus. We want admin to respect our right to free speech. And we want Howard to at least put out a statement or something opposing the federal takeover. But we also know that Howard won't do that because admin suddenly had a change of heart. That's not how this works. They are cold, calculated, greedy, unempathetic, yada yada. So instead of appealing to this non-existent humanity, let's appeal to something we know is of importance to them. Howard's image. If we can wrangle the culture back from its current state, get students to see Howard for what it truly is, get students to care more about the federal takeover than whoever's performing in that building over there this year, get social media flooded with Howard's failures, not just coming from revolutionaries, but the student body at large, who knows how much more bargaining power will hold. I know if I was a donator, I wouldn't give my money to an institution getting dragged 24/7. Yes, it is nowhere near that simple. Changing the culture isn't the solution. It won't get ICE off our campuses. It won't stop Howard from targeting whoever they want. It won't get the feds off the street of DC. But what it will do is give us the cover of truth. Because as long as they can keep us small, they can target us. As long as the majority of us are willing to go about our day-to-day lives, they can ignore us. And as long as students are willfully ignorant of the fact that these streets just got a lot more dangerous, Howard can continue to pretend that there is no problem. So, I'd like to give a little homework to anyone willing to participate. Make some art critiquing Howard's silence on the federalization of DC and pass it out on campus. Write a poem about how students expelled for speaking out could be any one of us here today and put it on lampposts everywhere. Write an essay about how Howard letting ICE set up a table in the School of Business last year was a betrayal of every single student who goes to this campus. Because for us to have any leverage against this institution, we need the masses to be tapped into truth and on board with the cause. To put it shortly, we need to take the culture back from Howard. Take it back from the hands of individualism and apathy and remind people that there are things worth fighting for. And I honestly believe a continued presence of dialogue about these issues are critical of the situation we're in, and any manner of keeping the problems in people's faces is better than what we're doing right now. So despite what not here, this is amazing, on the day-to-day on campus at home. So despite what I said earlier, I do, in a way, think that yelling, whining, and screaming all the time will eventually help us reach our goals of making Howard a sanctuary campus, of getting admin to refuse cooperation with the occupation of DC, and protecting free speech on campus. Because for the admin to care about any of those things, the pressure needs to be coming from everyone we can get on board on campus and off campus, not just those of us here today. And if any of y'all agree with that, I look forward to seeing how you will help us win back the culture here at Howard University.
Another round of applause for that speaker, everybody. I want to commemorate that speaker and how brave it is to come up here and speak about your interactions with the police. Speak about how you've been persecuted. It can be difficult to share those things together with us. Okay, that helicopter. We all want safety on this campus. But we know that this neighborhood isn't safe for us. We know this campus can't be safe for us. But you know who does keep us safe? We keep us safe. Who keeps us safe? We keep us safe. And thank you all the Howard students here today for walking out of class. Class is important, it's why we're here, but sometimes we need to take a stand. Sometimes we need to come out here and listen to the truths of people who are experiencing the issues that we want to fight about. We're walking out of class into the yard. 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 We're walking out into freedom. Walking out into freedom. Walking out into freedom. Our next speaker is a freshman who wanted to speak as well. Wanted to speak about their experience, his experience here on campus. Just getting here, baby bison. So a round of applause for this speaker.
As our lovely organizer shared, I just got here. And I came to DC at a terrible time. But I wanted to say that the foundations of this being possible, the federalization of DC, and the targeting of students that look like me, that inhabit this campus, did not start and will not end with this president. We need to recognize the ways that our mindless support of the state, even when the Oval Office has a man that has our skin tone in it, how we are always capable of being marginalized in this way. I came to this school because I was told that I have the rest of my life to be a minority, and I can have these 4 years to be a part of the majority. When did being a part of the majority, when did community mean scapegoating people just like us, mean allowing our state to inhabit our school, meaning cooperating with militaristic efforts in the name of Black equality? What happened to liberation? Howard is such a beautiful place because we have all of these beautiful Black people that want to make a change and have all of these lovely resources. And then we have a Chick-fil-A. And then we have Bison Bucks at the Starbucks. And then we have all of these things undermining the things that we say all the time about Black unity and liberation, about equality and people's voices being heard, while people are being killed. While people with dark skin are being killed by these corporations. For these next 4 years of my education, I'm going to have to be in DC. For class of 29, for all of these baby bison, we have to be in DC. We have to be here. But the thing is, when this president is gone, we are still in the US. When this president is gone, all of his lackeys, ICE, the police, they don't leave with him. It is up to us to ensure that this fight doesn't end when the face of this violence changes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Baby Bison, for speaking. He's very brave. Once again, just came up to me, asked to speak, asked to share his voice with y'all today. We're out of the classroom. Into the yard. Yeah. Out of the classroom. Into the yard. And like you said, this is just the start. I want to remind everybody here today that even though these issues, over-policing, students being harassed, they didn't start here. But also, we're living in a completely different DC than any other student has ever lived in. When has any other student had to live in a DC that's been occupied by the federal government? What is our university doing to protect us from this new and unprecedented time? That is why we are here today. That is why y'all are here today. Because we know that we can't just go to class, go about our daily lives, knowing that at any time we might have to face the National Guard, face ICE, face our fellow peers being persecuted by these institutions. It has been happening. It will continue to happen. And that is why our next speaker is going to be a professor who wants to talk to you all about this issue as well in the English department. We want to show solidarity between us and our professors. Our professors are also here to protect us. Yep. Us students, of course, are the center of student activism, but a lot of what we do couldn't be done without our mentors, without the professors who are here to support us. So I would like to give a round of applause for Professor Hampton. Have him come up and speak to you all.
I'm about to see if I can get this.
All right, can y'all hear me? Louder. All right. Okay, we'll see how this goes. Thank you all for coming out. My name is Professor Cyrus Hampton of the Department of Literature and Writing, formerly the Department of English. I'm a senior lecturer. I'm also a longtime volunteer with the non-tenure track faculty union. I'm a graduate of Howard University, class of 06. And I am very proud to be back here, even when we are faced with these disappointing and hurtful times. Prepared a couple words. Let's see if I can get enough hands to hold everything. There's a lot to be said about the world we live in now. The world is always a hard place to live, but this is not a comforting time for y'all to become adults in. Globally, our environment continues to be imperiled by corporate greed, despite all of us having known about the growing danger for years. We are witnessing multiple genocides. In Palestine, U.S. money goes towards funding the use of U.S. weapons against Palestinian civilians. We see live video daily, but our leaders refuse to acknowledge the genocide of the Palestinian people or our nation's complicity in it. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, millions of lives have been lost, all in the name of cheap access to minerals for the benefit of Western technology companies. To learn about the devastation in the DRC or in multiple other countries, you have to go searching. The U.S. media isn't interested in going into detail about these events, about this death, about this suffering. Globally, fascism is on the rise. The hyper-wealthy use division to turn working people against one another. Corporatist capitalism is giving way to neo-feudalism and neo-monarchist billionaire classes. In the US, we have an authoritarian, neo-monarchist billionaire president who has surrounded himself with his fellow billionaires, monarchists, and fascist lackeys. We are witnessing the dismantling of even the trappings of democracy, while our news media focuses on Gavin Newsom's latest singers, Taylor Swift's engagement, and the latest Love Island drama. It's hard to know what to do when ICE is kidnapping people with impunity. The president is talking about leasing abductees from concentration camps back to their employers, and soldiers and federal agents are stalking the streets of our capital. All of that brings us back here to our little campus. There is no doubt that the people with power over this campus find themselves between a rock and a hard place. Howard University is heavily reliant on public funding, which has always made it an easy target for racist politicians. With the university exposed in the way it is, with our campus, our funding, and our future under the burning eye of an authoritarian president, I could almost forgive the folks over in the A building for bowing down ahead of time. Almost. Historians tell us you cannot give in to the authoritarian preemptively. You can't give in before they force you to give in. They will always want more than you can give. But again, the folks in the A building are tasked with protecting the legacy of this university. If they don't already have the power to fight back, how do they not give in? I wish I had an answer for them and for us right now. I don't. I don't know exactly what we should do next. I have questions, I have thoughts, I have ideas, but I don't know exactly what we need, what the university needs, what the country needs, what the world needs. Something I do know, though, is about our legacy. We are on a storied campus. We have inherited so much history from those thinkers and activists who paved the way ahead of us. But this feeling of being trapped, this situation where it looks like our only choice is to bow down, that is also a part of our legacy. It is the legacy handed to us by our so-called leaders, by generations of Howard University presidents and Howard University trustee boards. This university has some beautiful things in its history, but everything of value that has been achieved on this campus was done by students, faculty, and staff, and it was often done in spite of the supposed leadership of this campus. I get angry with the folks in the A building. I've had a long relationship with Howard, and I've seen a lot of nasty things come out of that A building. Sealed off safely in their offices with their big salaries and their big titles, I've seen deans, provosts, and presidents ignore students' well-being or even be spiteful and cruel towards students. Truth and service. That's what we're supposed to give y'all. I cannot honestly say that we reliably do. We are here right now, trapped and without options because of the legacy of our leaders. Our leaders are what they are. I have sympathies and I have my criticisms. They are trapped in the things they have built. So because they are trapped, I am much more interested in y'all and what legacy you might leave. Y'all are insightful, revolutionary, passionate, kind, and loving. Despite that, you and I are not safe from becoming what they are. But how could this group we have here now, this group of insightful, revolutionary, passionate, kind, and loving young people, how could y'all become like the people in those offices in the A building? Overconfident, lost, spiteful, uncaring. It seems like an unbridgeable gap. It's hard to imagine y'all becoming like them. Selfishly, I don't want to imagine y'all becoming like them. But if we want to avoid following their path, we have to accept that it's possible. It's possible because they too were once young. They too were probably passionate, insightful, maybe even revolutionary. Some of them were all of those things on this campus. If we are going to do something different, it starts with imagining them in their day, out on the yard, just like we are now. I just talked about this with my students last week, so if any of y'all are out here, my apologies for being a little bit of a broken record. But if we're going to find a way forward, I think we have to recognize the errors of the past and recognize how easily we could make those same mistakes. I want to believe that I couldn't be like the people with the power right now, but I could be, and I am, every time I take the easy path, every time I convince myself that the only choice is the one that is cruel but familiar. The frightening truth is that our actions today define who we are and who we can be. It's not what's in your heart. It's not how smart you are or how much you care. It's what you do with your mind and your body right now. For revolution to exist, revolution has to exist in the way we work, fight, and love right now. That's because what we do today teaches us and trains us for who we will be tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. It's a terrible lie that many good people have told themselves, that if I just get over this hill, if I just get through this door, I will finally be free to do good for people. So I'll do whatever it takes to get myself through that door. I will take the easy path, and I will allow myself to be unkind, to avert my eyes, to be vicious. And then, once I'm through that door, I'll change. But even on the easy path, getting through the door takes hard work, and it takes time. And having poured yourself into doing whatever you had to do, allowing yourself to be unkind, averting your eyes, being vicious, the person who makes it through that door will not be who you are today. Maybe it won't totally change you. Maybe you will still hold on to your dream. But But everything you will have built will serve those forces that demanded you be unkind, selfish, and short-sighted. Your skills, your tools, your community you have built around yourself, and even what you see as possible or impossible will serve the door that kept you out, the wall that held it in place, and the master's house that it was built into. So, if striving for power and taking the path that power demands will poison us, what do we do? Last week at a teach-in that your fellow students put together, just like they put together this, Dr. Marcus Ford said something really valuable to our efforts that I don't think is discussed enough. And if Dr. Ford is here, I apologize if my paraphrasing is ham-fisted. When we are constrained in the way that we are now, when we are facing power and violence like we are now, we have to enact revolution in the little things. I think that we seldom hear people talk about revolution living in little things because, frankly, it doesn't sound like enough, especially now, especially when we see gangs of cops marching up and down Georgia Avenue, when our neighbors' loved ones are being snatched off the streets, when we see genocide beamed into our phones with up-to-the-minute updates. What does it matter what we do in little spaces when we're faced with that? Well, in front of me right now, I see present and future artists, engineers, lawyers, lawmakers, architects, actors, doctors, scientists, philosophers, business people. Business folks, y'all aren't off the hook either. In the work that you will do and in the work that you already do, you take little steps, little ideas, and little discoveries. You make them a part of something larger, and in doing so, you change the course of knowledge and thought and culture and the world. To take those little steps and make something new, however small it may seem, it takes a lot of hard work. You have to practice and hone your own skills. You have to build new ways of exploring and working. You have to build entire communities of colleagues, comrades, loved ones, and family members to support your work. If you take those little steps using the master's tools, you will rebuild the master's house. If you have spent your life appeasing power to the detriment of the many, even if the opportunity to help the many, help people, and help the world presents itself, you may not have the skills, the tools, the community, or the ability to take that opportunity. Our choices now make us who we are and who we can be. If we want to live in a different world, a better world, we better start practicing right now. I don't have a perfect answer for what we should do next. I have questions, I have thoughts, I have ideas. If any of you all have a perfect answer, we should get up here right away, please, please. But if you don't, I'm certain that you have questions, thoughts, and ideas. I'm almost done. With what we are up against, to have mostly just questions, thoughts, and ideas is scary. It doesn't feel fair. We aren't alone. We have decades, hundreds of years, thousands of years of knowledge passed to us to use, and we need to use that. That's why you're here right now. But even with that, it doesn't feel fair. It's terrifying to say no when forces so powerful demand something. But we aren't yet trapped into the legacy of the master's house. And I hope and believe that even those who are in the master's house right now can choose to walk out and join us. Together, if we are honest, passionate, skeptical, careful, and radical, we can start a little conversation that leads to a larger conversation. We can create little ideas that lead to larger ideas. We can perform little actions that lead to larger actions. And when the opportunity presents itself, tomorrow, next week, next year, or during the lives of your grandchildren, we can grab the opportunity and we can cause transformative change. It is terribly frightening. But the time to start is right now. Y'all have probably heard, some of y'all have probably heard these words before, but I want y'all to repeat after me these words from Assata Shakur. It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to fight for our freedom.
It is our duty to win.
It is our duty to win.
We must love each other and support each other.
We must love each other and support each other.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
We have nothing to lose but our chains.
Thank you all very much.